Hello, I am the Frank Friar, aka Father Nick, and today I want to talk a little bit about how somebody becomes a saint. Now, this has been on my mind a lot recently because of two reasons. One is I love podcasts, and I listen to this one podcast called Dude Catholics, and they have a series going on right now on the virtues. So I've had the virtues on my mind and in my heart. And then also, my order is helping a group of Carmelite nuns, the Carmelite sisters of the aged and infirm, to help their process of paperwork to go along for the beatification, the hopeful beatification and canonization of Mother Angeline, who is a venerable, declared so by Pope Benedict XVI. And one of the important things that I've learned about this process, because there's a miracle under review in the Vatican right now, is the need for people in the church to give testimony of the virtuous life of the person up for beatification, which is one of the steps of becoming a saint or acknowledged as such by the church. And it's not just about the miracles. Everyone always focuses on the miracles, like, oh, well, somebody wants to become a saint in the Catholic Church for the church to acknowledge, etc. There's got to be these two miracles. And that's important. They're not going to be declared a saint by the church without those, but those aren't the only things. The other thing is that people here on earth that had a living connection with the person has to give testimony on behalf of the life of that person, saying that person lived a virtuous life, that their lives of faith, hope, and love, of prudence, temperance, fortitude, and humility, the big great virtues, the theological and the cardinal virtues, etc., that they had to live them on earth. The person can't just be a difficult person that was just rude their whole life, and next thing you know, there's miracles being attributed to them. No, they had to begin to live the life of a saint here on earth. And the lives of the saints are the lives of the virtuous. Now, what do I mean by that? As Catholics, we believe that heaven isn't just some far-off place, like, well, you die, and if you're good enough, you get judged, you go to heaven, you'll be good to go. No. Christ broke into the earth through the incarnation, and when he entered into the earth, he brought with himself the divine presence, the heavenly presence. So, heaven is not just something for the far distant future, but it's something that's already breaking into our reality now. And the lives of the saints, the living saints we talk about here on earth, are a reality of that they have committed themselves to live in such a way that constantly reflects the glory and the beauty that is Jesus Christ in the kingdom of heaven that he and the Father and the Holy Spirit have prepared for us. And that's why it's so important in the process of canonization of a person, this sort of system that we've had set up in the church now to acknowledge the holiness of somebody. We, as a people, need to give testimony to the virtuous life of that person. And this virtuous life and bearing witness to it isn't just something we see only in the process of canonization. When I was ordained a priest, the people of God gave testimony through my superior that, yeah, he's a good guy. He's okay to be ordained. Some traditions within the Christian context have a part in their ritual for matrimony. If anybody have a problem with this union, speak now or forever hold your peace. There's at times that when something happens that affects the people of God, they have a right to speak up in a positive way or in a way that says, hey, let's slow down and look at this. And canonization is that process that people have, in my experience, always been somewhat curious about because of the miraculous element. That there has to be something supernatural that's occurred from people asking and going to, for my instance right now, Mother Angeline's intercession. Please take my petitions to our loving Father. Please, Mother Angeline. And then suddenly this miracle is attributed to that intercession. She's already lived that virtuous life here on earth. I kid you not, just today as I'm recording this video, I went to a celebration with the sisters, and the book was that big of testifiable witnesses to Mother Angeline's life of virtue here on earth. She spent her life caring for those that were sick and aged, because she came over here from Scotland. She see how people were being treated here and how the standards in the U.S. need to be changed and the people need to be treated with dignity. Just because they can't work anymore doesn't mean they value any less for the society. And she gave her life and started a group of sisters to bear witness to that through compassionate care of the elderly. And I don't even like to use the word elderly. I prefer to call people of advanced age wisdom figures because they contain the memories of the people that they share and that they pass on. So, one more thing, and I'll end this video, is a living saint, one that people give testimony to in this process of canonization, doesn't need to have every virtue under the sun. That's one of the glories of having all these different saints. The College of Saints in the Catholic Church is we have saints that typify a variety of different virtues. Right now I have coming to mind St. Jerome, the famous biblical scholar. If you read some of his letters and some of the writings people had of him, he could have been kind of a jerk in our modern day standards. But yet he was a man of holy prudence, of tenacity, of great faith and hope in the love of Jesus Christ. He just didn't always speak nicely to other people and give them warm fuzzies in their belly. There's other things like you have Saint Teresa of Lisieux, who, if you read her writings, she had certain sisters that she just struggled with so much that she didn't like. But just because she didn't like them didn't mean she loved them any less. And that's one of the great things about the life of virtue, is it's not about how we like people. The life of virtue is rooted in love. Love that is given to us in a special way through Jesus Christ, making it possible in the hardest of hard times to act with heroic virtues. So if you have some knucklehead at work making your life difficult, you can endure that. Or if you have other people that speak terrible words of racism, you can stand up and say, no, that is not okay. Those people you're speaking about are human beings. And these labels you're applying to them are not okay. And I'm letting you know that. Or it could be going into the streets of Calcutta like Mother Teresa and touching the sick of the sick, people that had their flesh decaying off their bodies, and saying, this is the Christ I've been looking for. To go back. So as we reflect upon this life of virtue and we look at the saints, it's just not something that are in the distance. It begins now. How we live now. The choices that we make now. Every little step we take forms the habits that help solidify us in the virtues that we desire. So, if you want some good guidance, the Dude Catholics podcast is a good resource. If you're interested in learning about hopefully a new saint declared by the church, look into Venerable Mother Angeline. You can email me and I'll be happy to give you information about her. She has this great spirit of risk-taking, and I'll probably do another video on her in the future, just because I have been impressed by her. And one of the reasons I'm a Carmelite today is because of the sisters that she has helped shape during her life here on earth. So remember, we're all called to lives of virtue, but we're not alone. As the people of God get testimony to the life of a saint here on earth, the people of God can help us grow in the virtues we need if we're just open to each other in love, in humility. So remember, as we walk this journey together, we're not alone. We have each other rooted in the love of Jesus Christ. So thank you for being with me today. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me. I've been noticing people are finding me more through search engines, and that's because more people are subscribing to my social media content. If you want to email me, please email me at thefrankfriar.com. That's my website. My email is thefrankfriar@gmail.com. Each way you can get a hold of me, you can fill out a form on my website. It'll reach me, or you can email me. If you like podcasts yourselves, like I like podcasts, check mine out. It's on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud under The Frank Friar. Thank you again for being with me and for giving me your time today. Know that I'm with you and that I'm praying for you, and may God continue to bless you this day.